What's on, ladies and gentlemen? My name's Ross, I like games, and today we need to have a good old look at Premium Booster 01. You see, we're in a weird situation with Premium Booster 01. It's kind of out and it's kind of not. You see, as of Friday, the set is out, but it's brand new release that day. And also, let's not forget we've got the starter decks at the moment, and if you buy one of these starter decks, you will get one pack of Premium Booster 01. And what this means is we're in a very awkward situation here, where we've got a tiny bit of supply. The set is kind of out there. The hype for this set is about as high as you're ever going to see, and the supply is kind of low. And what that means is that we are in a situation where lots of hype, low supply, prices are gonna get silly. So we're gonna have a look at some prices that people are actually paying right now for Premium Booster 01 cards. I'm going to do some comparison to what we're looking at over in Japan, and I'm going to give you a message I've given you before, but I do think with this set, the hype is so much that we really need to talk about this. And the message is very simple. Stop buying Premium Booster 01 singles. I'm not saying never buy them. I'm saying wait till the prices go down. I am certainly not saying don't buy packs. Oh, if you buy packs for a good price, absolutely go and buy packs. This set is redonkulous. I love this set. I have been extremely clear about how much I love this set. No, ladies and gentlemen, I am telling you that right now is the worst time to buy singles. It is a terrible, terrible, terrible time to go and buy singles, and it is something where just hold your horses, give yourself a minute, come on back, and then when prices start dropping, and prices will start dropping, we can talk about it then and go and buy singles, etc. Although my usual thing here, right? You're grown up, so, you know, if you want to go and do this, fine. If you want to get the first card graded, that's a good reason to do it. If you want the card now and you know you're overpaying, but you don't care, that's absolutely fine too. This is friendly advice on your old pal Wassy. Nothing more than that. Sound like a plan? Excellent. So, what's actually going on then? Well, what's going on is people right now are paying, frankly, absurd prices for cards that should just not be anywhere near that high. Let's start off with the Suva Premium Don. Let's start off with the gold Don, because these are very, very cool, right? Let's take my personal favorite from the set. Let's take the Iceberg Gold Don. I can see one sold over on eBay right now. The English version of this sold for $55. Now, bearing in mind, I'm picking this for two reasons. Firstly, love this Don, think it's awesome. Secondly, this is like the least sought after Don, okay? Nobody likes this Don. Like, I love it. I think it's adorable. But generally speaking, this is not a sought after Don at all. Over in Japan, there is a category of gold Don in terms of prices, and it is just the lowest ones. And it used to be Iceberg was the actual lowest. Now there are a bunch that are tied down at the lowest level here. But the lowest level, the cheapest level of Don is 2,500 yen. Now, one per case in Japan, 2,500 yen. Yes, that does include the Iceberg, obviously. Does anyone know off the top of their head what 2,500 yen amounts to? Anyone? Yeah, it actually comes in at $16. This is a $16 card in Japan. And sure, you can absolutely make the argument that it might be more expensive over here than it is in Japan. 4 times as expensive? No, that's absurd. People are not going to be paying $55 for this gold Don when it all comes round to it. I feel pretty confident about that. Honestly, ladies and gentlemen, I feel pretty confident. But of course, that is the least sought after of them. I chose that one because nobody really wants it, at least compared to the others. What about ones that people really do want? We got any sales for them? Oh, we got sales for them. The one that is actually the most sought after over in Japan, the one that we expect to be the most expensive over here, is your Zorodon. Yeah, $320. It's sold. This was sold, not a listing, a sold for $320. No. To put that into context, if we have a look at the cheapest manga rares, I'm talking about King from OP03, and I'm talking about the Rally from OP08, they're about this. That's roughly the same kind of price. That's absurd, ladies and gentlemen. Absolutely absurd. TCG Player right now have got King listed at $325 and Rally listed at $335. So, $5 or $15. Manga rare. This is apparently as expensive as a manga rare. Now, again, we head over to Japan. We look at the prices over there, knowing they're not going to be perfect. But over in Japan, Zoro is 20,000 yen. Still the most sought after, still the most expensive. Zoro is 20,000 yen. Now, that equates to $130. Now, $130, yeah, it's Gold Don. The pull rates are low. It's the most sought after, I get that. But $320? Nah, mate. Humorously, over in Japan, Zoro is 8 times the Iceberg Don. 2,500 to 20 is 8 times. And I will say this is not 8 times the price of the Iceberg Don, so maybe it's a bargain? Except it's definitely not a bargain. They are both way too high. This is not going to be, I imagine, manga rare territory. This is just people getting overly excited. If you're looking for standard, ordinary, everyday, run-of-the-mill Don, we could look at things like Sakazuki sold for $75, Anel sold for $125, Queen sold for $75. Again, these are way, way, way too high. The Queen in Japan is actually down with Iceberg at 2,500 yen. It is not one of the most sought after at all. Anel is actually a little bit higher. It's at 6,000 yen, so just over double things like Queen and Iceberg. And then the Sakazuki, again, is just not one of the bigger Don coming in here. So, yeah. Seems a bit high. Sakazuki's at 3,000 yen, which is a tiny bit higher than Iceberg and Queen. But my point is, you look at these prices and it's just like absurd. Absolutely absurd. These Gold Don right now, and again, we're in the worst possible time to buy the Gold Don. Because right now, we're looking at this and we're going, well, we don't know what the pull rates are. They seem to be quite low. We want the Gold Don. And then we're just paying massively, massively over the odds. But how about Manga Nami? Because, of course, that's the manga card from the new set. How's that doing in terms of price? Way too high. Here's a couple that have been sold. One for $850 and one for $1,000. Now, look, I know we all like Nami. And I know that the manga rares are very expensive and the pull rates are very low and all of that. But this one, we can actually look to Japan and we can get a very, very good idea about value here. Because Manga Nami, we can just compare the Japanese price to the other Japanese mangas. Manga Nami over in Japan is 60,000 yen. 60,000 yen for what it's worth is $390. Now, that's not really where we're going with this. We do a bit of a comparison. If we compare that to the Manga Silver's Rally, that's 50,000 yen. So this should be 20% higher than Rally. So I told you that Rally was a $335 card. Add 20%, pretty much dead on $400. That's roughly what we're looking at. We compare it to the Boa Hancock from OP07, and the Boa Hancock from OP07 over in Japan, that is a 100,000 yen card. So, yeah. 2/3 higher than Nami, basically. So Boa Hancock should be 2/3 higher than Nami. Boa Hancock is a $475 card right now. So that should actually put Nami at 60% of that, and 60% of 475 is actually $285, which is clearly too low. But my point is, somewhere around the $400 to $500 mark. If we compare the price of Nami in Japan to other manga rares in Japan, and then convert that to a rough value over here, it's maybe half of $1,000. It is not $1,000 by any stretch of the imagination. And we can keep playing this game all day if you want. Let's take a random alternate art. Let's take this Boa Hancock from OP-01. How much did it sell for? $75 for an alternate art? Well, all right, then let's play the comparison game. How many Boa Hancock cards are higher than $75? There are exactly two. There is the special rare from OP-04, which for what it's worth is the most expensive non-manga rare in that entire set. And then obviously the manga rare Boa Hancock. The alternate art leader is like a $45 card. The alternate art from Romance Dawn, which remember how that's all out of print and all nowadays and really hard to get hold of, yeah? That's like a $30 card. Oh, this is apparently 2.5 times the alternate art from Romance Dawn. That's basically what we're saying here. And fun little side note, it is of course the same card. It is a reprint of that card. And look, I'm not saying this isn't a cool card, ladies and gentlemen, but I 100% am saying that $75 for it is absurd. This is a regular alternate art card. Do you know how many regular alternate art cards in OP-08 are $75? Not special rares, not leaders. Just regular alternate art cards. Do you know how many of them are $75? None of them. The top one is Nami, which is $30. What about 500 years in the future? How many of those regular alternate art cards, not special rares, just regular alternate arts, are above $75? It's obviously none of them. The most expensive is Jinbei at $33. Regular set alternate arts generally tap out at about $30, maybe $40. Why are we expecting this card to be a $75 card? And don't come at me with a whole, oh yeah, we'll see, but it's Boa Hancock. Yeah, we just did that. I just showed you that that doesn't work. Because Boa Hancock cards don't get this high unless they're special rares or manga rares. These cards are hilariously too high right now. And look, this is the first special set we've had. So we really are lacking a whole bunch of context. We're lacking a comparison to other special English sets because we don't have other special English sets. But I'm telling you guys right now, this is ridiculous right now. The prices that people are paying for Premium Booster 01 singles right now are absolutely absurd. And this, more than any set we probably ever looked at here, we have got to just chill out and sit back, unless you're happy paying over the odds, and some people are, and that's absolutely fine. But we're in a weird situation here where, you know, people are buying individual starter decks to get one booster pack. And then that means the supply is so horrendously low and people are getting hyped and massively overpaying. It is a terrible idea. We are about to get flooded with stock of Premium Booster 01. The set is going to release on Friday. And at that point, we can all go, well, actually, really, we should wait a couple of weeks, honestly. But at that point, we can sit and start, you know, looking at the prices falling and then going and buying these cards. Right now, oh no. I've given you a bunch of examples. I honestly could have kept going for hours here, showing you cards that are massively too expensive. But I think I've made my point, so now it's over to you guys. Tell me what you think about these cards and Premium Booster 01. Tell me what you're after. Tell me what your chase cards are. Go nuts in the comment section, but be nice. And then make sure you like this video, subscribe to this channel, follow me on Twitter at Lawasi. That's where we talk about One Piece and a bunch of other card games. And please do consider checking out patreon.com/PTCG Radio, where you can support the channel, get some bonus podcasts and all kinds of fun things. But by far the most important thing, as always, look after yourselves till next time, would ya? Thank you very much for watching. My name's Ross, and you've been watching Wossy Plays.